I am Dr. Amarjeet Kaur. I am Professor of Accounting in the Department of Management at Gurugram University, Gurugram. I am a certified management accountant and an MCom from MD University, Rohtak, and MBA from University of West of Scotland, UK. I am very happy to be connected with you this afternoon. In next few minutes, we are going to talk about important issues in accounting for non-for-profit organizations. So, please be with us because we are going to discuss very important aspects when it comes to accounting for not-for-profit organizations. So, we shall be taking a couple of points like subscriptions, life membership fees, endowment fund, etc., etc. So, please be with us for the next few minutes. So, the first important issue when we have to prepare books of accounts for any not-for-profit organization, there are a couple of issues, of course. The first and the foremost issue which requires a lot of attention, especially if you are a student, if you are a teacher, that how to deal with that is that the subscription money. Because subscription money comes in different forms at different times and at different time of accounting period, right? So it really needs your attentions on this particular topic. So subscription money, first of all, that only the current year amount goes to income and expenditure account, right? What about the remaining subscription money? Because a business may receive subscription money from the previous year because somebody defaulted, subscription money for future even because somebody has just paid in advance, and the subscription money for the current year. So only the current year subscription money will go to the income and expenditure account. After some time from now, I shall be taking some good example to help you explain this particular aspect of subscription in detail, right? After this, the second point is the life membership fees. What is this and where does it go? You know, most of the organizations which are not-for-profit organizations, they may have the annual subscription fees, which is a recurring nature, which goes to income and expenditure account. But other than the annual subscription, they do charge life membership fees. It's not applicable for every organization. There are a couple of organizations which do charge. For example, clubs. I know very well this Gymkhana club in Delhi, they have the life membership fees in lakhs, not in thousands. They charge this life membership fees in lakhs. There are many more such organizations which charge you life membership fees. Indian Commerce Association of India, I am the life membership of that company. MTC Global, even I am life membership of that company that organization as well, right? So they are all examples of not-for-profit organizations. They have been established with the purpose in mind, with some special purpose in mind to promote education, to promote peer learning, anything of such nature, right? Libraries are another examples. I have seen many people who are life members of many libraries because they love reading, right? So the question comes in, how do we deal with life membership fees? So I think you can correlate with this particular example. Let's say you paid 1 lakh rupees for life membership fees of any club. Now you are going to be their member for your life and you are going to avail the facilities of the club. It could be in a gym within that club, a swimming pool within that club, a library within that club, or any restaurant within that club, right? So you are going to avail throughout your life. So how come the organization, the club here, should be recording this amount which you paid as a life membership fees as a recurring nature? Because you will be availing services throughout the year, isn't it? Right? So this life membership fees received by the club should be taken as a capital receipt. And the moment we take it as a capital receipt, we cannot show this in income and expenditure account, because today only in the first half of the day I discussed that this income and expenditure account does not record any capital nature item, be it expenditure or be it revenue, right? So the lesson from this discussion is, the message from this discussion is that this life membership fees is taken as a capital receipt and would be shown in the liability side of balance sheet, right? So I hope I am clear on this example. Coming to the next important point, endowment fund. How do we deal with this? What is this? So the endowment funds are basically funds created by organization to honor certain obligation. So endowment fund could be, for example, I am retiring, I gave some money to one society, let's say to some school, and I told them, here are the 5 lakhs rupees, right, which I took from my retirement fund, and I want to help the needy students. I gave it those 5 lakhs rupees to a school, telling them, requesting them, please use the interest, the income of this particular money to give scholarship or to waive away the fees of any student who is from a weaker society, who is from a financially weaker family, right? So economical weaker family, if a student comes from, so this was my instruction. So what did I do? I, as an individual, I gave some money to a school, right? That money which the school has received will be known as endowment fund, and whom they have to endow. So this fund to be utilized to help needy students, the students who are good, who are bright, whatever the instructions I may give in the writing, right, between my, so there would be some agreement between me and that school. So the point is that is not important, that the terms and conditions are not important. The important is, from accounting point of view, what will this particular school who received 5 lakhs from me or 10 lakhs from me, how would they deal with this money? So the school will show this money as a liability in balance sheet. Why? Because this is a one time, I am not going to give them 10 lakh rupees every year. I am not going to ask them to to create endowment fund every year, every month, right? So it's a kind of one time receipt from my side to them, and they cannot show it as a recurring item. So they are going to show it as a liability in their balance sheet, right? And any expenditure created out of this fund would be actually subtracted from the fund only, and any income received on this fund, because this money they cannot use for any other purpose, right? The school cannot use this 10 lakhs for any purpose. They have to create a separate investment, separate FD, separate investment, and the interest received on this endowment fund or any kind of income received on this endowment fund would be added to the fund. Any expenditure created out of this fund would be subtracted out of this fund, and that adjustment will take place in the liability side only, in the balance sheet itself, not in the income and expenditure account, right? So this was another important point. Coming to the next important point pertaining to preparation of not-for-profit organization is that how do we deal with admission fees, or how do we deal with entrance fees? Now there are two lobbies. One set of lobby says admission fees is a regular nature item, not for organizations keep on receiving it, this admission fees or entrance fees, and it should be recorded as a revenue item. There is another set of people, the second lobby, which says no. They have a different arguments, and they argue that this particular head, which is entrance or admission fees, should be recorded as capital receipt. Now, what is my take? This will come to your question, or what should be my advice to you? So, I would advise you here that you have to be very careful while dealing with admission or entrance fees. First of all, if you are a student, please read the problem, read the caselet or the question very carefully and see if there is any instruction regarding entrance or admission fees. If the question says the company, the organization has a practice to deal or to take 40% admission fees as recurring and 60% as capital. So just go by that only. If there is no such instruction, the question is silent on this aspect, then what should you be doing? Then this will be your choice, and most of the books, most of the literatures goes in favor of dealing it as a capital nature, because they say the same person will not be admitting again, right? We will be admitting one person only once. So the admission fees should be taken as a capital nature. You know, most of the time if you go to a hospital, they will ask, आप पहले कभी आए हैं? आपने यहाँ register कराया कभी पहले past में? So they need not to register you again, and they do not charge anything. It could be barely 50 rupees or 100 rupees, right? So from that logic, I am suggesting that show this admission fees as a capital nature, but read the question line by line, word by word, and if there is an instruction, then go by the instruction. If question is silent, if the situation is silent, then you may take it either way, capital or revenue. But personally I suggest it that logically we can take it as a capital receipt by putting a note. So the best safeguard here would be that if you put a note at the bottom of your solution saying, I am assuming that admission fees, the same person will not be paying the admission fees again and again, right? Otherwise a business will receive, an not for profit organization, a club, a hospital, an organization will keep on receiving admission fees from new members, from new visitors, right? So we have to understand the nature of the organization as well. Sometimes some organization could be in such a nature of activities where this admission fees would be of recurring nature, right? So be careful dealing with this item. With this caution, I move forward and I discuss the next point, donations. So what are donations? As we know, these are the receipts from donors to any not-for-profit organization. Now, donations can be of two types. One, the specific nature donations, and the second is general nature donations. The general nature donations are treated as recurring revenue or recurring receipt, and we show it on the credit side of income and expenditure account, right? But if there is a specific donation, let's say an hospital received donation to create a corona ward. This ward was never there in any hospital ever in the history of the mankind, right? So COVID-19 corona ward been created by X hospital. So somebody, some businessman donated, let's say 40 lakhs rupees to create a special ward. So then this would be a specific donation. We are going to treat it as a liability. We are going to show it in the balance sheet, not in the income and expenditure account, right? Someone may give donation to build one yatri sthan in any mandir or any gurdwara. So even that is one kind of donation which is specific for one purpose. It is not happening every day. So this will not be taken in the income and expenditure account. Rather, it will be taken to the balance sheet. So I hope this point is clear with these examples. Coming to the next important point while preparing the not-for-profit organization's books of account, we have to deal with is legacy. So the amount which is known as legacy is basically somebody dies and you, or before his or her death, somebody may write a will that after my death, my whole amount, whatever I owe, whatever I own at the time of my death, should go to XYZ organization. In India, we do not have that much practice, but in states I have seen while living there, people really write their wills and they transfer the complete legacy, the complete ownership of assets to some society, to some trust, to some organization. So they do not transfer to their kids for most of the time. They say no, we should not be transferring our legacy to our children. They do transfer it to society. You know, at Fargo, at North Dakota State University, I was working with the business school. There the whole business school was developed, actually was built on by the cost of million of dollars, by somebody who actually donated the whole money as a legacy, right? There are thousands of such examples. If you search, if you Google, you will find. So that amount which is received by any not-for-profit organization as a part of will, as a part of declaration before death by somebody, that is a one-time receipt. That should also be taken to balance sheet under liability side, not as revenue nature, not as a recurring receipt in the income and expenditure account. The last point, as which is very important point, is sale of old assets, old newspaper. What do we do? The sale of old asset, old newspaper is actually, old newspaper is a recurring nature item. It will go to the income and expenditure account, but sale of old long-term assets will not go to income and expenditure account. Now, newspaper selling is a very regular item of not-for-profit organization as a recurring nature item, and it goes to income and expenditure account. On the credit side, we put as a revenue. Okay, now I am going to discuss a few points, but which how do we show few points in the balance sheet. So in the balance sheet, while we are preparing this balance sheet, the receipt and payment account and additional information is being taken into consideration, and we show assets, liability and capital fund in the balance sheet. I am not going to cover this topic balance sheet, we would have a separate session on this, but in the context of subscription, in the context of legacy, in the context of these items which we just discussed, the special additional items, important items, I am going to discuss from that perspective that how do we deal with the balance sheet. So in the opening, in the balance sheet, all fixed assets, their opening balance is shown, and we adjust it for any purchase and any depreciation, right? This is a general practice. And special receipts and special funds are shown, as I just mentioned a minute ago, in the liability side, right? Any special fund, any special receipts would be shown in the liabilities. So the opening capital fund, which is calculated by preparing opening balance sheet, is adjusted for the surplus and deficit, and we calculate the closing capital fund. So this is one basic information about the balance sheet. Now I am going to take you through one example of special fund. How do we show this these items pertaining to a special fund in the balance sheet, and then if the time permits we will take up how do we show the subscription money in balance sheet and income and expenditure account. So I will try to explain you with the help of one example. So the example here is regarding a special fund. So in this example we are taking that one organization, it has a sports fund as a special fund. The amount is 45 rupees. So this fund has been created because some money may have been received, and the organization seems to be a sports club, right? They had an investment of the same amount, 45,000. So they invested this in somewhere. Then income from sports funds for the year the organization received is 6,000 rupees. The donations which are received just only for this fund, that is sports fund, is 14,000 rupees, right? And then a certain sports event would have been organized, and the sports prizes were awarded, and for that we have spent 10,000 rupees. And lastly, the expenses on sports and events organized by the organizations are 5,000 rupees. So please note down these values. We shall be referring to these values now. So basically this is an example that where a particular fund is there which has been invested. On investment we received 6,000 as a recurring income, and certain donations we received of 14,000 only for this fund, and then certain expenses in the form of prize distribution, in the form of other expenses are made. Okay, so the question is, how would we show this in the balance sheet? So please have a look at the slide. In the liability side, first of all we are showing sports fund of 45,000 rupees. Okay, and we would be adding any income received. So the income which we have received from this sport fund is 6,000. So my fund becomes 45 plus 6,000, 51,000, right? Other than that, the organization has received 14,000 as a donation. So we will add up this donation as well. And out of this total receipt of 6 plus 14, 20 plus 45,000, which means so 65,000, we are going to subtract the expenses which we have made on sports prizes for awarding the prize of 10,000 as well as the sports expenses of 5,000. So 15,000 would be subtracted. So 65 minus 15,000, we would show the 50,000 as in the liability side, the value of the sports fund in this year. Okay, and in the credit side, in the asset side, we will show the sports fund investment of 45,000. So this is how we deal with any particular fund. So I took the example of this particular fund as a sports fund, and you may take example of any such fund which has been created for a special purpose, but the treatment would always be there same way. Any donation, any receipt, any recurring kind of receipt pertaining to this account would be added. Any expense pertaining to this particular fund would be subtracted. This is how we deal with this fund. Okay, now I am going to come up with another example, that how do we deal with subscription, how to treat subscriptions. As I promised you a few minutes ago in the beginning of the lecture that we will pay at special time, we will devote special time on dealing with the subscription. So subscriptions which are, there are four situations. Subscriptions which are outstanding in the beginning of the current year and outstanding at the end of the current year. So third is subscription which is received in advance at the end of current year, and the fourth one, subscription which is received in advance but at the beginning of the current year, right? There are four different situations. Have a look at the slide. The first situation says subscriptions outstanding at the end of current year. So what do? We add to the subscription in income and expenditure account, and we show them in the asset side of the closing balance sheet. Okay, then subscription outstanding at the beginning of the current year. So what we do, we deduct them from the subscriptions and in the income and expenditure account, and we show them as asset side of the opening balance sheet. And next two situations are when we receive the subscription in advance, then at the end of the current year or at the beginning of the current year. So if anything received in advance at the end of the current year, we would be subtracting it from the subscription in the income and expenditure account and we will show it in the liability side of the closing balance sheet. Okay, and the fourth and the last situation is when we receive the subscription in advance at the beginning of the current year, then we are going to add that in the income and expenditure account of the current year. So, and we are going to show this in the liability side of the opening balance sheet. Okay, so this is how we show. So this example, have a look at the slide. So this clearly shows you that how the subscriptions are shown. This is shown on the income side, right? And we are treating, we are adding anything outstanding at the end of the current year. We are subtracting anything outstanding at the beginning of the current year. Same way, we are adding any receipts in advance at the beginning of the current year, and we are subtracting anything received in advance at the end of the accounting year. So this is how we deal with this subscription amount. I hope it is clear to you. So I'm very thankful to you for being with me for the last few minutes. Thank you very much, viewers.